What is up, everyone? I'm Taylor Martinez, and alongside me is Brooklyn Sierra from Apple Valley High School.
We're coming to you from our studio right here on campus, ready to bring you on all the latest on all things Southern Section.
That's right. Coming up today, we're talking winter sports and showing some love for our women in sports. Super excited for you to meet the athletes in this episode.
One of those athletes plays 2 sports in one season.
Lots to cover today, so let's get right to it.
It's time for CIF Southern Section this week. The recent wildfires devastated numerous communities.
With this, dozens of our Southern Section athletes and programs were affected. The CIF Foundation is accepting donations as part of the Belong to Connect Compete Fund.
These donations will help replace equipment and ensure students can continue participating in athletic programs. You can find more information on the CIF State website.
Amongst those affected athletes are St. Monica Preparatory cheerleaders Cassidy Hart and her sister, whose family lost their home in the Palisades fire. Cassidy shares with us that she wanted to use cheer, her community, and her voice to help others stay positive during this hard time.
My name is Cassidy Hart, and I'm a senior at St. Monica Preparatory.
Cassidy was in class when she received news of the Palisades fire moving towards her home. She went home to pack a bag, then went to a hotel.
My dad stayed to fight the fire, but he sent us a final photo that said, "The fire's in our backyard now," and that's when I kind of knew that it was like over with. Slowly we saw it like on the news more. And someone sent us a photo of, I lived in a cul-de-sac, so someone sent us a photo of almost all the houses at the end burned down.
During this time, Cassidy just wanted to help those around her. One way she did this was helping with her school's Essential Drive.
To be able to help other people in that situation was really awesome. And then my younger sister is also on my team, and she started a book drive for the kids in the Palisades, because when we were in the hotel in Santa Monica, a girl came crying down the hall saying, "I lost all my books and they're all gone." And my younger sister thought, well, what can I do to help this kind of direct situation? So she's raised over, I think, 2,000 books now that she's collected that she's planning to hand out to different elementary schools, which just like makes me so happy and excited for her, and just goes to show like so many people want to make you kind of the victim in the situation, but all you want to do in that time is pull yourself out and help others if you're that kind of person, which definitely has been, something that has been instilled in my family from my parents. So
Cassidy, of course, took a brief pause from cheer, but wanted to get right back to it as soon as she could.
I had already lost something so meaningful to me, and so to take out another part of my life that is also meaningful would have been, just completely detrimental.
Cheer may be a sport of smiles and pep, but for Cassidy, it was just the outlet she needed.
I kind of let all my emotion out in cheer, and I'm able to scream as loud as I want during the cheers, and I'm able to hit the sharpest motions and throw girls in the air and let out all my energy.
Cassidy has inspiring words for others in her situation.
Keep doing the things that you love, and really fully put yourself into them.
She is so sweet.
She really is. She was such a light to talk to, and she's gonna do some great things. President Ronald Reagan declared February 4th, 1987 as National Women in Sports Day, and now it's celebrated annually the first week of February. But organizations will hold activities and conferences throughout the whole month.
Here's a little history deep dive on women in sports throughout the Southern Section.
When the CIF Southern Section formed in 1913, it only governed boys' sports. Girls' sports were under the State Department of Physical Education. Rather than an organized season, the girls would typically have sports days. So there were still organized sports for high school girls, but not full seasons. Organizations like the Girls Athletic Association and the National Association for Girls and Women in Sports formed in 1920, just after women were granted the right to vote. We saw moments such as the 1928 Olympics, where women could run track and field for the first time, 1932, Lillian Copeland, a Los Angeles high school class of 1923 graduate, became an Olympic champion in discus. 1945, the image of Rosie the Riveter gives hope to women athletes. In 1950, the CIF Southern section sponsored a national high school girls tennis tournament. Following this, athletes like Mickey Wright and Billie Jean King became household names. Billie Jean King graduated from Long Beach Poly and became the most famous female athlete in the United States.
That's it. Very well-deserved win for Mrs. King.
In 1965, the CIF State Committee on Girls Sports reported that medical experts believed there was no negative impact upon females who play sports. This was the green light that was needed. The first official CIF girls sports were established in 1971, and those were badminton, volleyball, basketball, field hockey, gymnastics, softball, swimming, tennis, and track and field. Title IX passed by Congress in 1972, granting equal access to girls in athletics. By 1973, there were 220 Southern Section schools with girls' sports. And following that, it was decided girls could play on all boys' teams if their school didn't have a girls' team. The ladies put that opportunity to great use, with Debbie Seward becoming the first girl to win a diving medal in the boys' championship, taking home a bronze medal. The next year, Jane Word won the championship after topping all of the boys' scores. 1974 marked the first formal CIF Southern Section girls sports playoff contest. Some of the most famous athletes made their name for themselves during this time, including Ann Myers, Cheryl Miller, Joy Fawcett, Lisa Fernandez, Lisa Leslie, and Misty May, amongst many more. Some of the most recent additions to Southern Section girls sports include wrestling, traditional competitive cheer, and flag football. Today, there are 16 CIF Southern Section girls sports played by over 5,000 teams and thousands of athletes. Sticking with stories on the ladies, the Apple Valley High School girls soccer team has been making their name known these past few seasons and definitely making their school proud.
I sat down with head coach Nicole Stevens and sophomore captain Jaden Bechtold to dive a little deeper into more about this team and their mentality heading into the postseason.
Hi, who am I here with today?
Jaden Bechtel, sophomore at Apple Valley High School.
My name is Nicole Stevens, and I'm the head coach for girls soccer at Apple Valley High School.
Could you tell me about your varsity team?
They are a super resilient and determined group of girls. They're super hardworking and just overall very well-rounded and focused.
We have the best pregame hype in the locker room and a lot of rituals we do together as a team. Like before stepping on the field, we always touch the orange.
I think there was a lot of pressure definitely from the end of last year to continue to do well. But we have a lot of talent still, and we know that we've definitely made a name for ourselves here at Apple Valley High School for girls soccer. So to continue to build on that and just continue to work hard and do well, and what we've been doing for the last couple of seasons.
So what is your mentality going into this postseason?
Well, we have a lot of new girls this year. We graduated 10 seniors last year, so a lot of new faces, a lot of young girls, and so obviously the goal is still to win. It's always to get to that final game and to bring home a ring, but we really want to just focus on growing and improving since it'll be a new experience for a good portion of our team. I'm just super proud of them, and I want to continue to grow the program and put Apple Valley on the map in any way that I can. So just to continue to improve and be proud of what we've done in the past, but also keep looking at the future.
I know postseason is going to be tough, but I think we got it.
Absolutely. I think you guys are going to kill it, so good luck this season. Thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Another impressive lady in the Southern section comes from Elsinore High School. She plays 2 sports in 1 season.
Meet Marisol Diaz.
I'm Marisol Diaz. I play 3 sports, soccer, track, and basketball. I'm 17 years old and I attend Elsinore High School.
How do you do it all?
I played soccer since I was in preschool and basketball since 4th grade. My dad was a coach for my older brother and sister growing up as a rec league coach, and I just was so obsessed with watching them play, and I just couldn't wait to play my own. So I started playing up with my older sister, 2 years up with older kids, just so I could start playing. I was a little competitive. I would get mad when kids just wanted their snack time and I wanted to keep playing. So I ended up going to the club because some parents were getting a little mad at me. I broke my nose my freshman year, and then like as soon as I recovered, like the month of I broke my collarbone, and after that I swore off sports and I said I didn't want to play anymore, but my dad convinced me. So that made me start playing both sports somehow. So like he motivated me to like push me to my max. So I was like, okay. I just expected of myself to succeed in my classes and everything like that. And I've always done club soccer my whole life, so I was kind of used to balancing that. And then my freshman and sophomore year, I only did basketball, so it was like basically the same thing, just balancing one sport and doing my classes. Junior year is definitely a mix once I started doing both, because like I had games every day, I had practices every day, double practices, double games sometimes. So like it was definitely a lot of late nights.
Well, Marisol, by herself, she's like a self-driven player. She's going to try her best and put every effort into every practice and every game that she is in. She never actually skips practice, which amazes me because she's just a very highly trained athletic player. I know that she is the best in both sports. So we are very lucky to have her when she chooses us.
It's kind of just my own expectations. I mean, my parents, they're both teachers and they just expect me to do well in school. They push me that one extra step when I don't feel like I want to do that. But yeah, and that's how I do it all.
A special thanks to Elsinore students Isaac Mata, Jackie Ponce, and Adrian Cortez for bringing us that interview.
2 games for 2 different sports in one day, plus AP classes, major props to her.
Yeah, I am so impressed. So many great athletes throughout the Southern section. Let's stick to the topic of basketball here for a minute. Last episode, Tarek Fatal filled us in on some section standouts from the boys basketball side of things, but today we're sticking with all eyes on the ladies.
Because who runs the world? Take it away, Tarek.
Thanks, ladies. You know, here in Southern California, the boys get a lot of love. There's no question about that. There is a lot of talent and the boys deserve it. But the ladies, you could argue there is more talent in high school girls basketball in Southern California than any other sport. The state of California actually has 9 McDonald's All-Americans going to the 2025 game this year. 9. That includes boys and girls, okay? 6 boys, 3 girls. All 3 girls, they play in the CIF-SOUTHERN section. I'm going to talk about the top 4 girls basketball teams in the Southern section that are likely to be in the mix for the Open Division Championship. Number 1 is Ontario Christian, led by Kalina Smith. She's the number 1 sophomore in the country. I was at the Hoop Hall Classic, which is in Massachusetts, at the turn of the year for MLK weekend. Gino Ariema, the head women's basketball coach at UConn, came out to watch Kalina Smith. That's how good she is, making the trek from Storrs, Connecticut, which is about an hour and a half, to come and watch Kalina Smith play. She actually had an unofficial visit the next day at UConn. This team also has big-time contributors as freshman Tatiana Griffin, a standout guard with great skills, and a 6'6" freshman in Sydney Bean Douglas. She helps out too. So this team isn't just great, they're great for the future. The next team, it's Stan DeLuce's Etiwanda girls basketball team with 2 McDonald's All-Americans on the team. Grace Knox headed to LSU. The perfect word for Grace Knox, she's an enforcer. She's tough, she rebounds, she blocks shots, she's physical, and she can step out and hit a 3 every so often as well. And the one that makes that Eagles team run is Eliana Puff Morris. She's going to Cal. Can shoot the 3 from deep, can get wherever she wants to on the floor, and she can play make for herself and her teammates. Etiwanda is the 2-time defending CIF State Open Division champion. They are very, very good. The next 2 teams, Modern Day of Santa Ana. They are led by McDonald's All-American Addison Deal. She's going to Iowa, and she's an outstanding basketball player. Passes, shoots, rebounds, guards. She literally does everything. I want to say that going to Iowa had something to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark leaves, now a star in the WNBA. Addison Deal could be Iowa's next big star. And that 4th team would be Sierra Canyon. The Trailblazers only have 1 loss this year, and they're led by the top junior in the country, Jersey Robinson. Very, very, very good player. Physical, tough, can really go by anybody. There's no one at the high school level with the physicality that can not only stay in front of Jersey Robinson, but then cut her off. Jersey Robinson, very physical, very strong at the rim, and an improving jump shot that makes her the #1 prospect in the 2026 class. She can go wherever she wants. Of course, there are other top girls basketball teams to keep an eye on, but those are the top 4. Teams like Bishop Montgomery are very good. Windward, Fairmont Prep, Sage Hill, Harvard Westlake, Ventura, Westlake High School. But the top 4 that I mentioned, Ontario Christian, Etiwanda, Mater Dei, and Sierra Canyon, are likely to be in the mix. One of those teams is gonna be an Open Division state contender in mid-March at the Golden One Center in Sacramento. Either way, it'll certainly brew a very compelling, fun, and competitive postseason. Brooklyn, Taylor, back to you guys.
Thank you, Tarek. Looking forward to seeing the ladies out on the court this postseason.
Coming up after the break, we're checking in with some former Southern Section athletes who have moved on to the big leagues.
Basketball pro Jaime Jaquez Jr. was in Los Angeles for a series of games and took a detour to his high school alma mater.
Tonight, we will retire the jersey of the most prolific boys basketball player in Camarillo Scorpion history, number 24.
I love this community so much, and just all the love and support that they've shown me throughout my career, and even from when I was a kid. It's been tremendous. Everybody here believed in me.
Your time at Camarillo was unforgettable. As a senior, you averaged an incredible 31.7 points, 11.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 2 steals per game.
Went by so fast. I had a lot of friends, I got to play with, and we had an incredible time. It felt like we were the Harlem Globetrotters at one point, just all the lobs off the backboard dunks. So, I knew that if I ever made it, I wanted to, give back to, my old high school to make sure that they always had gear. We would always play against those schools that, got the free Nike gear, free Jordans and all that stuff. So for me to be able to give back is really important to me.
Special thanks to Oxnard Union High School District for that.
Super Bowl 59 showcased 8 former Southern Section athletes. For the Kansas City Chiefs, we saw Trent McDuffie, St. John Bosco, class of 2019, Juju Smith-Schuster, Long Beach Poly, class of 2014, Chris Roland Wallace, Knight High School, class of 2019, Keith Taylor, Servite, class of 2017, and Nico Remigio, Mater Dei, class of 2018.
And for the Philadelphia Eagles, we saw Tanner McKee, Corona Centennial, class of 2018, Grant Calcaterra, Santa Margarita, 2017, and Johnny Wilson, Calabasas High School, class of 2020.
Always great to see Southern Section talent represented at the highest level, so congratulations to all of them.
Still to come, students, it's our chance to have a say in events happening throughout the CIF Southern Section. We'll tell you how to get involved. The wrestling community will always be a tight-knit group.
A special dedication ceremony was held at Loara High School for CIF Southern Section historian and former council president Dr. John Dahlem, who passed away late last year. The Loara staff and Anaheim School District dedicated the wrestling room in his honor.
I cannot think of a more deserving recipient of this namesaking honor than Dr. John Stephen Dahlem. There are very few people in this world that were more respected, trusted, and loved. It is fitting that his legacy will never be forgotten. Once a Saxon, always a Saxon.
On behalf of the City of Anaheim, District 2, it's an honor to be able to give you this recognition and celebrate this amazing day for the Dahlem family, for Dr. Dahlem, and honoring his memory and his legacy. So thank you.
Thank you. So nice.
I've known John pretty much my entire life. My brothers all went to school here, and I teach here now too. So I got to know him in many different facets of life. So I just definitely wanted to honor him because he is the national wrestling coach, the Orange County wrestling coach, the state. He's won all these awards and all these things that he's done. It just seemed appropriate to name the wrestling room after Dr. John Dahlem. Well, John Dahlem was a lot more than just the wrestling program, but this is certainly where his name was made, I think, in a lot of our hearts. He was known as coach by so many people, and even though he coached football,
they were really talking about wrestling. And so just the fact that his name's on the side of the building that I think he helped actually get built is just so appropriate, and the amount of work he's done for our community and for the students and the people that have ever been with him, it's a great way to leave a lasting legacy. I've had people ask me why I wrestled, and the answer's simple. It was John Dahlem. When you joined the wrestling team at Loera, you became part of the wrestling family, and you became part of the Dahlem family.
The fact that this room's still here and they can go in and just think about all the hard work that you heard about, all the sweat, blood sometime, lessons learned in that room, it's just so great to see it there. My brother and I have such fond memories of going to wrestling practices, going to the matches when we were younger.
We're grateful for this honor for our family. We hope it does a couple things. One, just really reminds us of the incredible legacy of Loera wrestling, and that tradition can be built on. And I know there was the 70s, the 80s, the 2000s, and I'm thinking the best is yet to come. And the other is just that my dad's legacy of who he was as a person can be inspiring. He was a great teacher, coach, principal, but just lived his life, a life of adventure. Always went out trying to accomplish things, setting big goals, a great role model for all of us. And I know my dad loves saying, once a Saxon, always a Saxon, and this honor really exemplifies that for him.
And in honor of Dr. Dahlem and his love for CIF history, we bring you a Dr. John Dahlem history tidbit.
Did you know the first woman to try out for the NBA was Ann Myers? She tried out for the Indiana Pacers. She's a class of 1974 graduate of Sonora High School in La Habra.
We'll be sure to bring you more Dr. D history tidbits in upcoming episodes.
Student athletes. The Southern section wants our direct say on all things happening across the Southern section. They're putting together a Student Athlete Advisory Council.
No matter your sport, interest, or location, we want your feedback and advice. Here's Commissioner West with more on that.
We're really looking forward to the opportunity for students to get engaged with the CIF-Southern section in more ways than just participating in our events. We'd like to get a variety of juniors and seniors that will be participating with us. We also want to try to provide an opportunity for leadership skills and leadership training for these students across the board.
Applications close March 7th.
Well, Brooklyn, it was so great having you on with me. You did so great, and a huge thank you to the Apple Valley High School Computer and Media Pathway Academy. You can find more on this program and all of the cool things they do here on Instagram at Camp AVHS.
That's all for this episode of CIF Southern Section this week.
We'll see you next time.